Engine room's the closest thing to having CrossFit in your front room or in your garden or wherever you're doing it. It will involve weights, so you have kettlebell swings, you could have Olympic lifts in there, push jerks. If you have weight, if you've got a barbell, we can work it from that. If you've got dumbbells, kettlebells, we can work it from that. If you're just body weight, we can work it from that as well. They're grueling, they're outstanding, they're really well programmed. But the nice thing is it maintains that strength, so they are important. Body weight. Body weight is giving you the capability, one, if you're like so many people, you don't have weights at home, so they're not an option for you. Then body weight gives you the capability to work in a very small square footage, taking them beautiful fundamental movements like your air squats, your burpees, your sit-ups, maybe pike handstand push-ups, going into the more complicated movements, but just using you as the machine and showing you what you can do in a very, very small amount of space, and just beasting you to your full capabilities. Core focus is taken by Vanessa, it's programmed by Gemma. This is where Vanessa really comes into her element. We focus not only on the core, but it's that ab buster that you don't necessarily always get in a class, say for example a CrossFit class. We're just focusing around that area of beasting, trying to keep them abs intact. We're also working on keeping your shapes as well. So in gymnastics, you're required to get into specific shapes. Something like the hollow hold, we can make sure that you're not having that pelvic tilt. But really, we're just going to be beasting around them abdominals. Something like you wouldn't believe. I'm excited about our mobility classes. They're taken by the owner, Gemma. And I think it's one thing that a lot of us, if we're honest with ourselves, shy away from, because we just don't always have time to do it. So the beauty of this is we're dedicating obviously an hour to just showing you them mobility movements, focusing on specific areas for that day, and showing you stuff that you can do at home. And the wonderful thing is, when we hit areas that, say, for example, you've got a little niggle or you've got huge restrictions with regards to your mobility, you can take it away, you can use it at home. But absolutely for everyone, I encourage everybody to be doing it. Guilty of not doing enough of it myself, so I'll definitely be taking on everything that's done. So animal flow is a pretty new thing on the scene. I know I'm one of the only people in the southeast that's done the course. The beauty of animal flow is it's based over 3 movements: an ape, a crab, and a beast. And I would say it's kind of like an aggressive yoga. Me personally, I find it really hard to concentrate with yoga. I'm 100 miles an hour. Animal flow, you get an amazing workout. You do with yoga, but with animal flow, you get the calisthenic side of it. More importantly as well, you get to learn body control. You get to learn flexibility, mobility, and it's completely accessible for everybody. And it's a very cool, beautiful form of moving. And what we do is we teach you all the fundamental movements, and then when a class is taken, it's me giving out commands on them movements and me watching you move into a flow once you understand how to perform them. It's very, very cool. Progression therapy is probably where you will see where Aphobos comes into play at its finest. We're movement specialists. That's what we've always said. Like we're a CrossFit box and we believe in the morphology, but CrossFit can be performed at any standard, whereas we love the fact that our movement is so particular. So because of that, progression therapy will take specific movements and we'll break them down and break them down and break them down. Say for example the squat, there's so much involved in the squat. We start from the top, we finish at the bottom and bring ourselves back up. It's not just sitting down and standing up, it's a really complicated movement, especially when you're not too sure what your mobility restrictions are, your mobility issues, or more importantly as well, it could be a case that there's a certain position that you need to get into that your body doesn't quite understand. So for us, squat therapy and these therapies and progression classes are vitally important, especially over this stage where people are at home. Weightlifting and Olympic lifting. Gemma was Olympic lifting GB. She's one of the finest coaches this country's ever had. She is astronomical in her teachings. She's worked alongside with some of the greatest Olympic lifters in the world. Bo Bergner, that owns who the family that run CrossFit Olympic Lift, are very close friends with Gemma. she just looks at a barbell and it makes complete sense. This is more technical. So it takes a level 2 or a second fundamentals for you to understand this movement. It's the only class that isn't accessible to everybody. It's only for those that have done the level 2 with us because it's so complicated. Nevertheless, we are trying to create a way in which we can teach fundamentals to people virtually at the moment. But that needs to be done properly, so it's something that we won't rush. But for those of you that are the level 2, there's a good chance I gave you the opportunity to come and get a barbell. You don't need a barbell. You can do it with a broomstick, a PVC squat pipe. She will have you sweating. So Olympic lift, if you have done your level 2, you put yourself in front of that camera and she's creative enough and genius enough to make sure that she's got you doing the movements that's required, and she's educating you. This is a time to learn. It may not necessarily be the time to build strength, but to build skill. So yoga is probably one of the ones I'm most excited about. Introducing yoga to CrossFit, I think, same as animal flow, has always been quite vitally important, especially with people's mobility, helping them to get in certain positions and also cool down or stretch out, giving them ideas to focus on there. I think because of the current situation of what's going on as well, it's never been more important than now for people to have that time to relax. Maria Schuyler, who the wonderful thing about it is she's been coached by us for over 3 years. She's one of the longest members in our gym. She is absolutely on point. Where we are with coaching, that's where she's at with yoga. So to work with such a professional and to be able to introduce that to our members, and also using someone that our members knows, is really important to us. She's very, very calming. She has a wonderful way about her, and I think we've held them in the evenings for this particular reason. I think it's a good way for people to just relax and offset anything that's going on, calm themselves down, especially after a workout. It's a brilliant way to stretch out, and I think it's encouraging for people to have the opportunity to give yoga a chance if they never have done. Now this is Gemma's baby. So CrossFit Kids, we're a massive believer in our next generation needs to get their health in check. They need to get their fitness up, and they're the next people that are taking on this world. And I think, especially with everything that's going on at the moment, it's never been more important to have a vehicle for children to be able to offload, just go a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. But there's some amazing stuff that is already being given out, like Joe Wicks and what he's doing. But this is an ability for one of the best coaches, in my opinion, this country's got, to watch your child or your niece, your nephew, whatever it is, we don't care, and help them move properly, teach them how to move properly, get them being creative within their movement. This is something that obviously CrossFit Kids used to be a separate class where people paid membership for. While all this is going on, this is for anybody that's got a kid. If you've got a kid with you, put them in front of Gemma. CrossFit Kids is for all of you, everybody. We want you using it. We want your children here. We want them fit. We want them healthy. And if that's one thing that we can give back with real sincerity, I would be disappointed if you've got a child and they're not sitting in front of Gemma. It's really good fun. Plus they get to see the other kids that are joining in. Sometimes the parents get dragged into it as well. So sorry for that. But CrossFit Kids, that's a strong one for Gemma, and we really pride ourselves in it. She programs just as hard on that as she does with any other thing that goes in front of the adults. So it's taken very, very seriously. All you got to do, put them in front of us, go and have a cup of tea. We beat the coaching probably more for the coaches than we did for our members. The reason being is we used to do something called Team WOD while obviously the box was open. And Team WOD allowed all the members to come together with the coaches. Everyone would scale to their capabilities, and then everyone trained together. And it was just a wonderful thing. It wasn't necessarily a coach class. It was just great to be able to train with everybody and have fun with everyone of all different levels. and just trying to have a focal point to try and compete with. But it's all very much done with fun and done with jest. So all the coaches will be taking part of this with regards to Beat the Coach. Even Yunus, who's in Bali, he's going to be doing it as well, which is fantastic. So what will happen is the coach will go through the class, like he does with all of them, in intricate detail, going down exactly how to move, exactly what the specifications for that particular movement are, the breakdown of the workout, the rep scheme, and then he kicks off the timer, or she kicks off the timer, and you've got to keep up with them. Now, your scaling option may be very different to theirs, but if it's scaled properly, you're both going to be going roughly toe to toe, and that's the idea of it. It's a bit of fun, and it's a good benchmarker. The seminars, so especially the nutrition seminar, again, it's absolutely for everybody. The seminars are taking a key speaker, someone that's really a professional in their field within CrossFit. So they say, for example, PH Nutrition is probably the main point of contact that everybody relates to there. Liam's an incredible guy. His knowledge is incredible. He's worked with some of the most amazing athletes, not only within CrossFit, but across the board. And never more has he been willing to give his time to educate our members on nutrition and what they should do with the current situation that's going on. But we're also going to be having like bro sessions. He's done a ladies day as well. And it's taking people that specialise in their field, sitting down and educating how we can help in a dramatic sense. So how can we make them big differences by doing small things? And it's really the pros that you need to speak to do that. And that's what we take the opportunities to do. We're going to try and hold at least 1 to 2 seminars a month. I think it's important. So Ask Us Anything is a variation of things, really. Ask Us Anything is just an opportunity to chill out with the coaches. It's usually going to be myself asking what's going on with the box, any help with particular movements. Doesn't matter. You can ask me whatever you want. I think the idea is as a community we all get together and we get to have a chat and all have a bit of banter with each other. But more importantly as well, why this is all going on, and we're so used to being around each other all the time. I think it's important that we do that in this new virtual way. So Ask the Coach is not only there for me, it's also an opportunity for us to bring on key speakers. So at the moment we're in talk with some really amazing people. We've got GB Strongest Man. We've got a few serious games athletes that we're speaking with, but not only that, also within our own community, we've got people which are well ahead of their field, and they're more than happy to sit down and just chat and just talk about what's going on. We had Sarah, who's holds an amazing position in one of the local hospitals here, told us exactly what's going on in regards to Corona. So, it's the opportunity is to just sit down and talk, basically. It's not formal at all, but maybe just have a chat with someone as well, because not everybody's going to be in a position all to be together.